guys. see the game. 2 pawns down. Wow. I don't know what to think. Ibrahim, you played against who?
Yeah.
Beyond. 1. Okay. What a game you had that moment. What a hell of a game you had.
You know what is, yeah, I need to have better clock management.
Oh, your time.
Yeah, I ran out of time. Yeah.
Try and open the door and bring it away, please. Dan, how about you let this new player to sit next to me? Just sit. Sam, can you close the door? Danny.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Please put your phones away, turn them away. Please pay attention, guys, so we can start. All right, let's go through the results. Adam, how did you do?
I won.
Okay. Marvin, two against Aiden. Aiden, how did you do?
I drew.
Okay. Ibrahim, Donnie,
I won.
Dan Tucker,
I won.
Harrison,
We drew.
okay, and Jackson, he won, and last. Ibrahim, please stop. Okay. So okay, so tonight we have a special guest, Adam, who is around 2100, and he played against Sami. And Adam, you've been with the white pieces?
I was with the black pieces.
With the black pieces, okay. So let's see the game. We played D4 and Sami played D5, C4. What is the name of this opening, guys? Queen's what?
Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit, and Sami played D6. Queen's Gambit declined. And Sami set up, oh no, Adam set up the triangle here. Why did you choose this move order?
It's just always what I've played this for a while. It's the semi-Slav. To get out of main lines of if you play knight f6 and then they play bishop g5. So I prefer to play c6 first.
So to avoid this line, you play c6, correct?
Yeah, because there's a lot of theory involved with that line. So a coach from many years ago showed me this line of e6 and then c6. So if a lot of times I'll see a move like e3 after this, which now allows me to play knight f6, which without having the bishop come out.
So now the bishop is blocked. And then you can play the Slav or semi-Slav Demaran
Yeah, like
variation and take on c4 and with b5.
Yeah.
And solve the problem of the bishop on bishop b7 later on.
Yeah,
Okay? So for those of you that you want to learn a new opening, this is a great lesson on the Slav and semi-Slav with a typical move order, very tricky move order, b4, b5, c4, e6. Your opponent thinks you're going to play a queen's gambit, decline, and out of nowhere, hope you can surprise him with c6. So after knight c3,
now I play a sideline, which is, it's called the note boom. D takes c4. Most people never see this, so there is a way to win the pawn back, but a lot of people don't know how to win the pawn back.
so winning the pawn back, you should try to win it back with the bishop or with the knight, right? And you always have to think, the question is, can black play or not play b5 and defend the c4 pawn? So I think that's why Sami played a4, right?
Yeah, a4 is fine. The two main lines in this are either e6 or a4. They should transpose into the same position.
So if I play e3, you mean?
Oh yeah, e3 or a4. They're transposed into the same position.
What would you have played?
B5.
b5. And now if I play a4,
Bishop b4.
queening, and if I play bishop d2,
A5.
a5. And can I take here?
Yeah. So this is the main. Bishop takes knight.
Take.
C takes b5.
And now b3, I want to take here with check.
And then this is the main line. So now I'll play bishop b7, take, and then b4.
Bishop b2?
Yeah.
And now black has a queenside pawn majority, and white has more pawns in the center, right? The question is, which pawn majority is more dangerous, right? Black wants to block the pawns, and then white wants to block the pawns also, right? But white has the bishop pair, so it's really unbalanced
Yeah.
middle game.
You're trying to control the e4 square, because if black controls the e4 square, it's very hard to get in to a lot of places, because you want to be able to play d5.
So would you play knight f6 here?
Yeah, I think just knight f6 probably is.
So let's see, the computer gives very close to equal, a little bit better for white, probably because white has the bishop pair. So this will be normal natural moves, I assume.
Yeah, and then just like castles, and I'll play
Castle,
castle, and then I'll play. My goal is to play like queen c7 and e5. So then, if you want to play e4, I'll have moves like knight c5 to go ahead and counterattack on the middle.
What a move here, knight c5.
Or yeah, that's also.
Wow. And now you're what you were saying,
Yeah,
the critical square, you got the critical square of the position, which is e4. So if I take on d2, then I can trade the bishop pair. Obviously, I want to have a knight versus a bishop. White doesn't have to trade, but now it's much harder for the white pawns to advance. I have to push f3, right?
yeah.
Okay, so this was a sideline. Now we have a better understanding what you were preparing and about your opening. And let's see what happened in the game after a4. I think you played bishop b4 to pin the knight. And-
Typically, the natural move here is e3. E4 is also very playable. It just runs into some problems at the end of that line.
Knight f6,
No, you just play b5 after this.
b5.
The big problem with playing e4 is when you look at the end of that line, you have bishop takes e4, which the line we just looked at. After you go ahead and move the bishop out and you take the b5 pawn, the bishop will end on b7 attacking the e4 pawn, which creates some problems.
So comparing to the previous line, the pawn was on e3. Now the pawn is on e4. So what Adam is saying, we can go into the same line, but then the e4 pawn hangs in the end. But white is not forced to play bishop d2 here. So if I play something more passive, and can you capture on e4? That is the question. So if I take. Is this a poison pawn or no? Queen c2. Can I stop you from castling or no?
I think this just creates some problems with development for black, because while you have two pawns, your pawn structure is weak and you have none of your pieces out. So
White has some compensation here because it has the bishop pair, right? Black is behind development here. You see, and white wants to attack the king here also, and anytime is ready also to take on b5 and open up these two files. Very similar to the game, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go back. And white played bishop f4. I think this was a mistake, this move.
Yeah.
And how did you feel after bishop f4?
I just feel pretty confident that I'm up a pawn, that this kind of... The bishop doesn't want to be on. Naturally in this opening, the bishop does not want to be on f4, so you're going to have to waste a move to relocate it, and thus this allows me an extra move to get piece development.
So I'm going to add to that, that if your bishop is on a home square and the diagonal is open, you don't have to move it. Number one, it's already open. Number two, you gotta, there's always a big problem with the queen bishop on both sides. Okay, usually these are the last piece that you develop, right? So you gotta find the right, you gotta wait till the game develops to see where to develop it, what to do with it. White developed it too fast, and after the natural move b5, white, you see black connecting his pawns, holding on to the extra pawn, bishop b2, and knight d5, and exactly what Adam said. Now the knight is pinned here, and the knight is attacking the bishop. So now you don't even have time to relocate the bishop. So after queen c2 defending the knight, you captured the bishop right away. You went for the bishop pair.
Yeah, I want to... A lot of ideas in this opening that cause black problems is the center. So having the E and D pawn causes a lot of issues. But if I can take the bishop, not only now do I get rid of... Now I have the bishop pair, plus white doesn't really have the center anymore and has problems taking the center with his pawn structure.
This is a great lesson, guys, because white is sacrificing the pawn. What is his compensation? His compensation would be the dual center in the middle game. But once you lose the e-pawn, right? The e-pawn gets doubled on an f-pawn. White doesn't have that compensation anymore, and he doesn't have the bishop pair either. So black is the pawn up, and he has the bishop pair also. So knight d7, finally cast. Did you capture the knight here? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I took the knight. I'm preventing just a takes b5, which is a main threat.
Okay, so you captured, he captured, and now you played
Knight b6.
knight b6. You were attacking the pawn.
I also played knight b6 because I want to get my bishop to b7, but there's a lot of annoying things where white can pin the b pawn and then attack the c pawn with the bishop. So now I'm blocking it with the knight, is the goal.
Mm-hmm. So can I sack on a4 is the question, if you take here.
I think you can, but I also don't need to necessarily take
Okay,
on
well,
a4.
I can take here,
Yeah,
right?
so I don't think I would necessarily take on a4 if that happens.
Okay,
I
a6.
think just a6 and play bishop b7.
I don't know if you can.
I'm not,
If you take, I take.
I guess you can't immediately play bishop b7.
Right. So
This is the,
is the main problem, right?
yeah, so this is why I also played knight b6, because this helps present, even with knight b6, there's some pin problems on that b file, so I want to prevent those. Which leads to the,
Probably have to play
Yeah.
queen c7 to defend the bishop,
yeah,
but I want to create a different problem for you here. So bishop e7. So now the white pieces are active, right? They make a lot of sense. They're working together more, and now white has something for a compensation is what I mean, right? This was not easy to find these moves after knight b6. So I think he released the pressure here, taking on b5 too early, in my opinion. He should have kept the pressure, rook f1. Probably he missed that he can take on c4 2 times, and you're stopping bishop b7 in the same time, because this bishop always hangs. After you didn't pick the right move order, very similar to what we discussed. Now we see the beautiful pawn structure. Black is up a piece, up a pawn here, and after queen e4 he played.
Yeah, queen e4 just loses a tempo to queen d5. You can take the queen. The problem is if you take it, now you're just down a pawn where white is just going to use his pawn advantage to use the queen side and push his pawns.
So he lost a big tempo, and now look at this battle, guys.
And now the other problem is, the biggest problem for black is that white knight. The white knight wants to go into e5, and once that allows some attacking and some counterattacks with white. But with this threat on b2, now the white knight has to retreat, or as the computer suggests, go to the side, but it's not nearly as effective in those squares.
So knight d1 is more a human move, because the knight from h4 is nowhere to go, has no future. Still defending on g2, and castle, queen d2, and f6. Why did you play f6?
I played f6 for kind of a dual purpose. One is, again, I want to control the e5 square. Black's main problem is that e5 square. If white can get control of e5 and play f5, there's some counterattack possibilities. The other idea is just playing e5 myself and breaking up this center, because again, white is strongest in the center. So if you take rid of the center, black just has a massive queenside advantage. So just take the center, get the pieces off, and use your queenside advantage to kind of force white to lose a piece by threatening to queen.
So once you guys up material, you see how a higher rated player thinks. I'm already winning on the queen side. I don't need to force things on the queen side. It's my long-term investment. I need to trade off the pieces who can block or fight against those pawns. So I can prepare e5, open up files, trade off queens, right? And go in an endgame where I have a queenside pawn majority and I'm already winning. And the more pieces I trade off, the much easier to convert the advantage. Does it make sense, guys? So bishop f3 now, queen d7. How did you feel about this trade?
I was perfectly fine with the trade. I think getting the bishop off, it does take a piece off. I don't really think it matters. I'm not really afraid of his bishop, but I don't ever mind a trade in this position.
Because you're up material, right?
Yeah.
You're up.
And now, the other thing with the trade is now it's allowing my knight to be on d5, and my knight's the best piece in the game right now, because white has a lot of weak pawns. And especially if that c3 pawn goes, everything's gone for white.
e1, queen c6, defending the pawn, h4, a5, and now finally you start mobilizing and pushing your
I think
pawn majority.
also, you see in the last couple moves, the computer suggested kind of giving up the e6 pawn. I think from a computer stance, that's really good, but I'm winning as black. So there's no reason to give up pawns or give up counterattack if I just have a way to neutralize all of white's threats to go ahead and just use my majority anyway.
So white is hoping and dreaming something here, but there's nothing on the king side. And now black has two connected pass pawns. H6, G6. Why did you play G6?
I just didn't. You can allow it H takes G7, but I just prefer not to allow it. I obviously don't want to take the pawn. So I just figured not allow it. Now, I do have to be concerned about some threats of the rook or queen getting to that 7th rank. So being a little careful with trades on an A file. But other than that, there's not much to be too concerned about. Just if I focus a little too much on pushing my pawns, you can allow the rook or the queen to get it in some instances.
Queen B2.
Like in this instance, if you, I have an idea of playing knight takes f4, which I can play. The problem is now he has queen takes b4 with ideas of coming in. Now I can stop those threats, but there's really no reason to allow that. So I'd rather take a slower approach than this, just to not allow these threats. Because I can play knight takes f4, and if he played queen takes b4, I have ideas like knight d3, forking the queen and rook. But it's just allowing a lot of unnecessary counterplay, which I can kind of just neutralize by playing a move like b3 and saying, my position is just better, I don't need to take the material.
And this is a double pawn, guys. It's not worth it. Not worth it to go after double pawns. It's not worth it to give counterplay to your opponent. Just keep the game under control. Play everything on one side. Trade everything. Be patient and just close the game. And now you captured on f4 because you have some kind of tricks here, right?
It's also now the
So
knight.
if I take here,
I can just play knight e2 check and win the rook.
check here, take,
And take.
take, and simple b2
Yeah, b2.
with check and queen. Okay, so I just want to show
Yeah.
the class. Okay, so he played knight d1 and you played c3.
Yeah, I
So-
think this isn't completely necessary. I can also just play moves like knight d5, but this just helps take material off the board, and I'm winning an exchange. So I figured if I can win an exchange, I might as well just take more material off the board, and I'll just win an easy endgame.
So after rook takes c3, queen takes c3, queen takes c3, black play knight d2, and now suddenly you're up material here. If you take, you're up a rook and the pawns. All right, so Adam, it was a pleasure to have you. Let's give him a big hand. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I see you guys next week.